Welcome back. Trina here with you again. And right now, let's talk about the George Snow Scholarship Fund. They have been the largest provider of scholarships in Palm Beach County for over 43 years. And they have some extremely exciting news that I would love for them to share with you. Joining me right now is Jay Brandt, the VP of Development, and Dan Davidowitz from Poland Capital. Thank you guys for joining me today.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Before we really dive into it, can you talk about the George Snow Scholarship Fund and the impact that you've had in Palm Beach County?
Yeah, sure. The George Snow Scholarship Fund has been providing scholarships in Palm Beach County to seniors in high school with financial need for over 40 years, which includes not only financial resources, but also support services to ensure their success.
Wow, that is just amazing. And I love to hear stuff like that. Can you give us an example of someone you've helped, where they started off from, and then sort of like where they ended up at?
Well, we've had 3,300 scholars come through so far, the George Snow Scholarship Fund. And we've got kids, anywhere from coming from Belle Glade going to Harvard,
Wow.
to kids that are here locally that are, maybe a four-year degree is not in their plan, and we can help them with a vocational scholarship, to be able to go into a workforce or trade-related major.
Maybe I can also just give you an example. The George Snow Scholarship Fund not only just helps us identify kids who can use a scholarship and get the money to them. They also give us follow-up, too, to see exactly, what the students are doing, how they're progressing through school, and if they need more help, they'll even reach back out and say, this child might need some more help. Is there something that we can do for them together? It's happened during COVID. I remember Tim Snow called me. One of our scholars was having a very difficult time, and we helped marshal resources. Really, Tim did, but we helped a little bit to make sure that they were able to get through and continue their studies.
I feel like I like everything about this scholarship. One, you follow up on the students and make sure that they are really getting what they need and succeeding in school. And then also you have different options, like they can go to a vocational school or they can actually just go to a four-year college. That's amazing.
And last year alone, we provided $5 million to 375 scholars.
Your organization is actually able to do this because of the help of the community and people like the Davidowitz family. Now, they just gave you a record-breaking gift. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. We are honored to be receiving this gift from the Davidowitz Family Foundation, and it's our largest single endowment gift in our history. And will be used for scholarships for deserving students in our community.
So, Dan, without mentioning the amount of the gift, why did you and your family decide to give such a significant amount to the George Snow Scholarship Fund?
Thank you. We've been involved with the George Snow Scholarship Fund for a long time. I participated in the Boca Ballroom battle, so did my wife. Then we've had our own scholarships that we've created over the years through annual giving as well. And we're just always impressed at the job that Jay and Tim and the whole team at the George Snow Scholarship Fund do in identifying students, getting them the scholarships, following up with them, making sure they need everything that they need throughout their entire college experience. And they do just a tremendous amount of work. And so for people like us who want to help, but don't know exactly what to do, George Snow really makes it easy for us. And we just wanted to do more and help create more of a permanent fund to create new scholarships for a very long time.
Right. This family endowment will benefit generations of scholars. So that is amazing to hear something like that. So last year, you actually had a record number of applicants for scholarships and awards. What are you expecting for this year?
Yeah, so we actually had 1,958 applications this year. And like we said, we gave away 375 scholarships last year. I definitely think we are going to be north of 400 this year, so we're very excited about that.
Are you seeing that there's a growing need for scholarships in Palm Beach County?
Absolutely, yeah. We actually had almost a 10% increase in applications this year. And, it's always tough for us because there's only limited funds, and so there's always that line that we can't cross just because every dollar that we bring in for scholarships is awarded every year, and we start over again every year. Right. But, there is always a continued need for scholarships in our community.
So what is something that really makes a student that is trying to get a scholarship stand out to you guys?
I can just talk a little bit from our view, our family, and Jay can give a much more well-rounded version. But, we have a few things that we're pretty passionate about. One, we've had a lot of work with youth caregivers in our area, so kids who have to take care of sick and disabled family members, as well as just take care of their own lives and schoolwork. And that's a very unknown population and hidden population. And we want to make sure that those students have what they need to be able to go to college. And so we've given out dozens of scholarships to youth caregivers. And then my wife and I are a little bit different from one another. She's much more of an artistic talent, and I'm much more of a business sort of person. And so we also created a family scholarship that's called the Left Brain, Right Brain Scholarship, where we give out a scholarship to a student pursuing an arts degree and another one in business or science as well. So those are kind of things that we wanted, to be able to help those students that are pursuing those things or have those qualities. And that's just, for financial need for either youth caregivers or those types of degrees. But Jay, has much bigger purview than that.
Yeah, and I think just, as we're looking at it fairly broad, we're looking for those kids that do have a financial need, that are good investments, that want to help themselves and others, and also just need a little bit of help to really get through where they need to go. We're definitely here. We have 72 different funding sources that we work with. So there's different criteria from, like Dan said, caregivers to somebody that's coming from a single parent home or has to work to provide for the family. So some of them might not have, the 4.0, but they're a good investment because, they use their time to be able to help their family, but they're really trying to be active in their community to help how they can.
Yeah, and I love that you said that, you're not really looking for that student that has like the top scores in their classroom, but you're looking for someone who is a good investment, someone that you can bring up.
Right.
So how important would you say are donations and fundraisers?
They are essential. Actually, in the 43 years of the George Snow Scholarship Fund, every dollar that has been given away has been fundraised for.
Oh, wow.
There wasn't an endowment set beforehand by George Snow when he passed. So this is truly a community nonprofit. Every dollar that we raise, we give away. All of the events that we do are also helping to supplement the students with those support services. And some of those support services are if they need a computer, they need college supplies, they have something come up in life, we have an emergency fund. We provide coaching and career development services. So really anything that we would do for our own sons and daughters is what we do for these Snow Scholars.
That is amazing. And Dan, your family has a long history of supporting the community and the George Snow Scholarship Fund. What would you say to other families and business owners who are kind of considering getting involved?
I was so hoping you would ask that. Just do it. Absolutely just do it. I mean, there's plenty of really amazing philanthropic organizations, especially in Palm Beach County. But I think there's only a handful that are really run so tightly to the benefit of, in this case, students, where you don't have to worry about whether the job is going to get done and how it's going to get done. It's going to get done at the highest possible level, getting dollars exactly where they need to go to deserving students. And like Jay said, there's thousands of applicants and there's not enough dollars to get to everyone. I wish we could get enough money to get all of these kids the scholarships that they deserve.
Right. And then giving back to your community also makes your community better because the same kids that are going to colleges and everything like that, they're going to come back to our communities and become leaders in this community as well.
Absolutely.
So you're going through the process of selecting your scholars right now. When will they be announced?
So right now we're having our scholarships reviewed by 150 volunteers. Those are going to be scored, and then we're actually going to select the students that are going to be interviewed, which the interviews will be April 28th and 29th, and then we'll be selecting from those interviews the ones that are going to be awarded, which will be the beginning to the middle of May.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for joining the show today. I felt like I learned so much about the George Snow Scholarship Fund, and I have an even greater appreciation for it right now. I want to help out. I want our listeners to help out. How can we get involved and help out with this fund?
Absolutely. We would love that, and thank you for having us. They can actually just visit scholarship.org. So it's very, very easy.
Oh, wow, yeah.
They can look at all of our, how to start a scholarship, to our support services, to upcoming events. And obviously they can reach out to me or any of my team members, and we can answer those questions in person.